Congress is again proposed, I think in June, but given the chaos in the House, nothing's happening.
And what seems like it will certainly be on the back burner when Congress does get up and running again. Thanks so much, Laurel. Bloomberg Law Reporter, Laurel Tolkien. If you're interested in the latest legal news by listening to our Bloomberg Law podcast, you can find them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and at www.bloomberg.com/podcast/law. And join me again tomorrow at 10 p.m. Wall Street time for another edition of
Israeli forces remain massed along the border amid reports an expected ground invasion is being delayed as negotiators try to win the release of hostages in Gaza. That comes after two more captives were released by Hamas on humanitarian grounds this week. Meantime, the White House is emphasizing that there's no place for anti-Semitism in the U.S.
When Jews are targeted because of their beliefs or their identity, when Israel is singled out because of anti-Jewish hatred, that is anti-Semitism.
This comes after Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre received backlash Monday for her response to a question on rising anti-Semitism amid the ongoing war. On Monday, Jean-Pierre was asked about concerns over rising anti-Semitism, in which she said the administration has seen no credible threats. Representative Kevin Hurd of Oklahoma is dropping out of the speaker race just hours after House Majority Whip Tom Emmer dropped out as well. Hurd announced he was withdrawing his name ahead of a planned 8 p.m. conference vote. Car payments are at the highest rates in decades. Lisa Taylor has the details.
More than 6% of subprime borrowers with lower credit scores and higher interest rates for more than 60 days past due on their auto loans in September. That's according to Fitch Ratings. It's the highest delinquency rate in Fitch's data over nearly 30 years.
Richard Roundtree is dead at the age of 81. Best known for his portrayal on the iconic very similar to confirmed earthquakes reported on October 15th and 16th. WHSC spoke with Thomas Pratt of the United States Geological Survey, and he confirms the 2.2 magnitude earthquake near Stewart's Pass. All the small quakes are happening along the old Stanton-Pulaski fault line. No injuries or damage has been reported with any of the events. Anyone living near the area can report if you don't report anything to the USGS. Please make sure to include the time, date, and location when you submit your report. I'm Richard Stelling. The judge has ordered wrap-up. Damages to the owner of a now-closed strip club in Las Vegas. Daniel Martindale reports.
Blueface drilled into Jonathan Porter, shot a man in the hand outside of the Euphoric Gentlemen's Club, October of 2022. Earlier this month, Porter was sentenced to probation for the shooting. Late last year, the club's owner filed a lawsuit against the entertainer, saying his actions led to his license being revoked less than a week after the shooting. He was ordered to pay for lost revenue and other damages. I'm Daniel Martindale.
The man arrested with a dead body in his car along an Iowa interstate is pleading not guilty to murder charges. Iowa State Patrol officers investigating actions caused by I-80 on the north side. The man had tried to kill his fellow worker. There's a reason for this program.
Stories in Florida. Republicans have nominated Mike Johnson
outlook has been cut to negative by S&P Global Ratings. S&P cited the war with Hamas, saying it could spread more widely, and it could have a bigger effect on the Israeli economy than expected. In earnings news, Alphabet reported quarterly revenue and profit from its cloud business that missed estimates, and has raised concerns the market has looked to Google Cloud to take the lead. Alphabet is the third largest player in the cloud market after Amazon and Microsoft. We have more here from Bloomberg's Mandeep Singh.
Cloud, a little bit of a letdown, but not surprised given, everyone right now is talking about generative AI and they are kind of making their 2024 plans. It hasn't really translated into cloud revenue.
Away from cloud, overall sales and profit did beat analyst expectations, though the stock traded down more than 6% in late trading. Microsoft reported first quarter revenue rising 13%. Sales were $56.5 million and above expectations. It represents Microsoft's strongest sales gain in some 6 quarters. We heard from Bloomberg's Tina Voss.
But what happened in the quarter they just reported is a significant amount of stability in that Azure cloud business. The unit came in with growth higher than the company had forecast. Although it's early days, they are reporting strength related to some of the artificial intelligence products that they're selling, including a cloud service they sell, which lets Azure customers use OpenAI's model.
Microsoft up 4% in late trading. China is stepping up support for the economy. Bloomberg's Joanne Wong with the story from Hong Kong.
The Senate legislature approved a plan to raise the fiscal deficit ratio for 2023 to about 3.8% of GDP. Xinhua said the plan would include issuing additional sovereign debt worth $137 billion in the fourth quarter. The additional debt would be used to support disaster relief and construction. China has rarely adjusted its budget mid-year. The last time was in 2008 in the aftermath of the Sichuan earthquake. The latest budget revision shows that top leaders are concerned about China's economic outlook. Just yesterday, President Xi Jinping made what thought to be his first ever visit to the central bank since he became president.
Joanne Wong. Big gains in the markets in the back of this. The Hang Seng Index up 2.4%. The CSI 300 with gains of about 0.9%. Global news brought to you by 2,700 journalists in 120 countries. In Hong Kong, I'm Brian Curtis. This is Bloomberg.
I'm Wes Kostova. Today on The Big Take, Bloomberg's Israel Bureau Chief Ethan Bronner is here again from Tel Aviv to tell us about the latest developments in the Israel-Hamas war. Ethan, a lot has happened since we spoke last week, and right now it seems that a lot of the focus is on this effort to try to free as many of the hostages Hamas took as possible. Can you tell us what's happening with that right now?
There are numerous and very delicate negotiations underway all through the country of Qatar, which plays host to a bunch of Hamas leaders, political leaders, and also which has been spending a lot of money in Gaza through Hamas in recent years with Israeli acceptance. So the attempt here is focused largely on we don't know how many, but some dozens of foreigners and dual nationals, American, French, British, Chinese, Filipinos. Many of them are dual nationals, that they're Israelis who come from somewhere, but a bunch of them were visiting or working here, in the case of the Thai workers, for example. So there was a release last Friday of a mother and her daughter, Americans from Chicago. The mother is an American-Israeli who's been living in the States.
And on Monday, Hamas released 2 more hostages. They're both elderly women who lived on a kibbutz that Hamas attacked on October 7th.
Breaking news in the Middle East, where 2 hostages taken by Hamas were just released. It comes 3 days after Hamas released the first hostages, 2 Americans, in a deal brokered by Qatar's government.
I think that this attempt is quite
approaching a railroad crossing.
It is causing the Israelis to slow down on what they're doing in terms of the ground invasion. And it's not just a reason for like the country is really trying to get Israel to think calmly about the situation that it is in. And it's a very difficult task. If you read the anger, the sense of betrayal that pervades Israel since October 7th attack. It's overwhelming. And the military, which was not ready to save its citizens, wants to get revenge. They don't like to talk about the word revenge. It feels ugly, but it's inevitable that that's partly what's at stake here. When President Biden came here last week, he came with a very reassuring manner, a hug, literally a hug to people who were relatively victims, but also hugging the whole country, which meant a lot.
Even do we know how many hostages there are alive now who were taken by Hamas into Gaza?
We don't know exactly. The Israelis speak of a number in the 220s now, but I've been told reliably that that includes several dozen who are dead. That is, their people were missing, and they believe that Hamas took their bodies into Gaza as part of the negotiation process. We know that many of them are hurt. We know that some are ill, some are elderly. There are some very small children. In fact, a small group of many Israelis who remain
Interesting to see the way that his game has evolved. He was once
considered a playmaker and now is considered a real sniper and a great look and great catch on that there with Jacob Markstrom.